Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to our final installment of Webinar Wednesday for the year. My name is Leanne Rhodes, and I am the Creative Director at the NSBC, and it is an absolute honor to be hosting you all today. We hope for those returning that you have truly benefited from the tips you've learned over this year, from all the leading experts we've hosted. And for our first timers, we just want to wish you a very warm welcome. We know that you will leave today's session with ideas and advice and principles that will help your business grow and thrive. That is absolutely the heart of what we do at the NSBC, why we do what we do. But before we kick off, tell us in the chat where you are joining us from. We like to keep our sessions really interactive. So if you have any questions for our speakers or comments, please put them in the chat and we will have a look at them and we will see if we can have time to answer them. Otherwise, our team will do our best to get back to you regarding those questions. So today we are thrilled to be partnering with Vodacom and not one, but two industry experts as we explore the topic, how to unlock your growth potential, scale, and do more for your business. And to me, that is the perfect topic as we look ahead into the new year, into 2023, and what we would like to achieve in our businesses. So let us see here. All right, so the first part, we are looking at this post-pandemic world. We know that business has changed and the landscape of brick and mortar businesses has permanently changed. We're seeing a massive acceleration of growth into the e-commerce space. And we see a global shift to enhance digital presence. It was always there before the pandemic, but we see that the pandemic truly accelerated that. This has resulted in less reliance on in-store traffic. And we are seeing a shift from physical to digital, and how this creates a massive opportunity for small businesses as the cost of scaling your business has become very significantly reduced. Welcome, Gary. Welcome for joining. You are very welcome here today. All right. And as we speak about e-commerce, I absolutely love this topic and the potential it has for small businesses. I know a lot of you small businesses were forced to go the e-commerce route during the pandemic. So if you have an e-commerce store, or if you would like to actually explore that, why not post in the chat and we will have a look at that. So enough from me. I'm really excited to welcome on stage with me our first speaker for the day. This is Ingrid Mintera, and she is going to help me unpack small businesses and how to unlock your potential and thrive in the current ecosystem and economic climates. So welcome on stage, Ingrid.
Good morning, Leanne. Thank you so much.
So Ingrid, before we kick off, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and the role you play at Vodacom?
Sure, I will do. So I am the product owner for the e-commerce payment gateway at Vodacom Financial Services. I've represented stakeholders and customers to deliver value in fintech for over 14 years. I've fulfilled the roles of business analyst, solution designer, product owner, product manager in multinational organizations, and been involved in a wide range of diverse products and services, all in the financial industry, from home loans and insurance to mobile apps and digital payments.
Wow, that is quite a lot. And so earlier I spoke about the post-pandemic world. I spoke about how brick and mortar businesses have permanently changed. In your opinion, has there been a global shift in enhancing digital presence and a growth in the e-commerce space? And has that placed less reliance in the in-store kind of traffic that businesses are trying to attract?
Absolutely. I think you don't even need to be in the industry to see how much that's shifted from the COVID times. So we've definitely seen that there's a massive opportunity been created for small businesses to grow as the cost of scaling the business can be reduced so significantly by having that digital presence. And the way this would be is that one e-commerce store can service the same customers that would shop in several different stores across the nation. So you have so much access to customers that you wouldn't normally have had. And then setting up the e-commerce presence is so accessible now to all businesses, whether large or small. There's a range of e-commerce platform providers suited to different sizes of your business and available for such easy sign up and configuration without an initial investment or significant web development skills. So as each business has different needs, there are various options available, and that would just need to be evaluated to see what's suitable for your particular business before making a decision on what platform you'd like to go with.
What you say is so true. I remember being from the creative industry. In the early days of e-commerce, it was very expensive to build and run an e-commerce platform. It was very expensive. Now it is accessible to almost anyone, even if you're a solopreneur. You can. I know a lot of business owners that have even ventured into setting up their stores on their own because it has become so accessible. So, Ingrid, tell me, what factors do small businesses actually need to take into consideration when going the e-commerce route?
Well, the big thing is making sure that the experience is seamless. So a customer doesn't want to go into your store and have a completely different experience as to what they're doing online. So the way that you can do that is make sure that the experience isn't inferior when you have a digital presence. So making a purchase online should be the same, if not a better experience than being in store. And the way that you can do this is by ensuring that the terms of buying are the same as if they were in store. So being able to give your customer the same payment options, have the same refund policies and returns and exchanges. So obviously you don't want to be impacting the customer negatively by not allowing the same policies for refunds and exchanges. And then also leveraging off social media platforms so that your customer can have the opportunity to engage with you on the actual product or service, just to be able to ask questions, replacing that what they would normally do in store where they would actually touch and feel the goods or be able to see how it works. So having those platforms available for a customer to engage with, that's really quite key. And then also looking at evaluating the e-commerce platform that you use to ensure that there's the right amount of service on that platform to enable your customer to engage with you successfully in that digital space.
Yeah, I think you've given some excellent tips there. And for anyone who's watching today, we are recording this session because if you have to break down everything Ingrid said now and take one at a time, I think it would really help you set up that store. Something as simple as realizing that customers cannot touch and feel the goods. So you need to make sure that the images you use, the video you use, give them that experience. You mentioned refunds and how important that is so that that is seamless. And even just walking around, finding someone to ask a question, making that easy. So for all the business owners out there, remember to ask yourself when setting up a store, is this as easy as going to the physical store, and if not easier? So I absolutely love what you said there, Ingrid. All right, so we know e-commerce, a crucial component of it is making payments and customers making those payments. What is critical to consider when this is concerned?
Well, Leanne, as you say, it's a crucial part. It's why you're there. So you are wanting to make sure that the buying journey is simple and efficient for your customer. They need to be able to pay easily and safely. They want to know that their payment is secure. And you, as a business owner, want to make sure that your payment that you receive is legitimate before you dispatch their order. Nobody wants to accept it or receive a transaction and then find out later it didn't actually go through. So there's so many fraudsters out there. It's a key part of ensuring that you are secure in dispatching your goods. There are also many payment methods out there, and it differs according to customer adoption rates. So some customers are a lot more comfortable with certain payment methods. And then there's also different fees and refund capabilities out there. Some of your more international based platforms, they may have limited South African payment providers integrated into their product. So this could impact your customer because you wouldn't be able to offer them a wide variety of payment options that they're used to locally. And this could increase your card abandonment rates. So that's obviously a huge thing that you want to mitigate. And it's also important to consider what suits your customer and your business model. So depending on the products and services that you offer, you may want to accept a subscription payment model, which would allow repeat customers to buy from your store without having to keep capturing card details. So that's lovely when you've got something that is always ordered every month, and your customer doesn't have to go and capture their card details every single time they want to place a repeat order. And then there's also some businesses that maybe provide a service, or they take telephonic orders, and here they or potentially even distributing monthly invoices, and they would like to have the ability to generate a payment link outside of an actual e-commerce journey. So without an actual buying journey, you can generate a payment link that sends your customer a link which is very much like a payment gateway journey, and they can then make payment using whichever payment method they prefer there. And this is great for reconciliation purposes because your transactions are traceable. You have your own identifier linked to that payment, and you don't need to go and look at bank statements to see who has paid you and who hasn't. And yeah, that's very admin intensive when you don't have a streamlined process to handle these sort of ad hoc or payment journeys that exist outside of an e-commerce space.
Absolutely. I love listening to all those options. And I feel like now more than ever, there are so many options to make payment easy for customers. And the easier you make payment, the better for your cash flow and the better for your business. And a lot of people think that it's complicated to set up. Ingrid, would you say it's very complicated, or do you find that the options available out there are more easy than small business owners would anticipate?
Yes, I think there's definitely there's probably a sort of idea out there that it's very challenging because that's where we've come from. And where we are now is there are so many wonderful solutions out there where you can be up and running within hours. And with all the different aspects that you require for your e-commerce business, like logistics or inventory management, those are all available as options to configure with these platforms. So I think it's definitely a lot simpler than people believe it to be. And it just takes maybe a little bit of investigating to see what's out there. And I think everyone would be quite surprised.
I think so too. So speaking about payment gateway solutions, how can small businesses go about evaluating all the options that we've spoken about?
Well, for a small business, cash flow is really key. So I think the big concern there is around the cost per transaction. And that's normally levied at a percentage basis. So the payment service provider would charge a percentage of the transaction, and only on successful transactions mostly. And there may be additional costs. So these additional costs are things that you would want to consider, and also very much based on your business model. So there would be additional costs like a flat fee per transaction as well as a percentage. So that would, you need to factor all those things in, as well as a monthly subscription cost. So having to subscribe, pay a monthly fee for that service, and a fee for integrating. There can also be a setup fee and a fee for settlement of your funds, which is not ideal when you're a small business owner. You don't want to have to keep paying to get your money. So you just need to evaluate what that looks like for your business, and whether this is suitable. And yes, they all add up and impact your cash flow. The other aspect is the frequency of your settlements. So you may find that you can only get settlement once a week. Some payment service providers will settle you daily. And also that's just something that every business is different, and you would want to evaluate that on a case-by-case basis.
Wonderful. And now moving on to our final question. Oh, wait, before that, I see Samani. Thank you for that. She says, I love this session. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right, to the last question, Ingrid. I can't believe how quickly this is going.
Yes.
In the bid to provide, access to inclusive financial solutions, how do you ensure that the products are the right fit for unlocking small business potential and thereby enabling sustainable and scalable growth?
Well, Leanne, ultimately, what SMEs are trying to overcome is the lack of an enabling environment. And the truth is that South African businesses are looking for support and empowerment more than ever. And who partners with SMEs? Who champions them and gives them commitment? And who sees them for the future potential and not just the current circumstances that they're in? And you want a partner who's going to connect to more than solutions, but also give an enabling environment. And this is where our Vodacom Financial Services Sinawe comes from. And our position is that we see the vision, let's get you there, Sinawe. And the way to demonstrate our values, which is further together, we have a vision of an enabling environment, building it into an ownable platform to create an empowered space for business owners in the SME universe. And with Vodacom's credibility, the expertise at our disposal, and all the solutions we have available, we're in a perfect position to answer that call, showing that purpose and profit are not mutually exclusive.
Wow, I think that's music to small business owners' ears. I mean, just knowing that there's someone that sees beyond just where they currently are and is hoping to see and walk with them as they grow into the future. Ingrid, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll have you back on screen a little bit later. And we really are so thankful for all the insights you've given our small business owners today. We'll see you again just now.
Thank you, Leanne.
All right, and now we are going to be moving into the second part of our webinar today. I promised you 2 excellent speakers, and that is exactly what you are getting. So we all know that when it comes to unlocking small business growth, that money plays a big role, specifically access to finance, and that is what a lot of the time small business owners need to scale and grow a business. So we know that SMEs are the drivers of economic growth, innovation, employment, and I know small businesses are the solution to poverty and unemployment in South Africa. We know this. So in this pursuit, we know that access to funding is concerning, but a lot of you may not realize that it's not from the lack of funders available. The real challenge comes in pitching to funders, and it requires viable business ideas, business plans, and differentiations, and also a great deal of preparation. So joining us today from Vodacom Financial Services to help us delve deeper into this topic of unlocking business growth is Lesego Mpakanyane. Lesego, welcome to the stage. Welcome to this webinar.
Thank you, Leanne, and a very good morning to all the viewers and streamers joining us this morning.
So Lesego, before we move on, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Vodacom?
Sure. Leanne, I'm a financial services professional by trade, with an accomplished track record of assisting corporates, large, medium, and especially small enterprises, entrepreneurs, individuals realize their strategic and tactical objectives. My strength lies in the ability to build strong and resilient relationships while maintaining a commercial network which spans across industries and regulatory bodies. I'm currently employed at Vodacom Financial Services in the capacity of a business development manager. responsible for accelerating sales and introducing digital and partner distribution channels for both consumer and business lending products.
So to all our viewers today, I think we are in good hands. Lesego, I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you. And the first one is, creating a world where access to affordable financial digital services is actually a right and not just a privilege. What are your thoughts on this statement?
Sure, that's an intense question out the jump. But in today's world, I mean, a technology-driven innovation remains at the forefront of many industries. We at Vodacom Financial Services view the power of combining what's inherently connectivity with the capabilities of a fintech to deliver exceptional products and services which are at the core of driving financial inclusion and stimulating economic growth. This is also largely underpinned by creating progressive digital payment ecosystem, which my colleague Ingrid spoke about earlier, together with a digitally enabled and robust technology platform, the likes of our Vodapay, used by both consumers and businesses to access our lending proposition, together with our insurance and digital services that effectively benefit everyone.
Sure. That is really great. So Lesego, just one of the things we know that hinders small business growth is funding. We see it in most of our surveys. It's always in the top 3 of what they require, and that mostly it's needed for operations and for scaling. What do small businesses need to be cognizant of when seeking funding?
Yeah, so when it comes to funding and financial services, trust is paramount. Small businesses need to approach lenders who they can trust and demonstrate depth in understanding of their business according to their various life cycles, all while combining robust technology offerings, which are both simple and intuitive to follow and understand with as few clicks as possible, and are in any language in a simple language that they can understand, together with low requirements from a tangible security perspective, and still deliver on that promise or deliver on that value that is promised.
I love what you're saying about the simple terminology, making it accessible. So small businesses, and we know that this is true for actually all business types, not just small businesses. They face challenges in the pursuit of growth. What would you say are some of the prominent reasons for SME failure or closure? And we know we've had a big startup boom in this last while. So I think many of those startups out there, many don't make it. So they will be all ears for this answer.
Yeah, so I think for me, these reasons vary, and the top one I would think is a decrease in sales, which is attributed to also margin compression, which has a huge impact on the profitability of the business. Some of the burdens associated with tax and the rigorous regulations or red tape are some of the ones that we all know. But also more recently, more especially in a South African context, the interruption to a sustained energy supply, a reliable energy supply, and also largely by the fact that we're a global, we're all connected in this global network, that we're easily susceptible to interruptions to the supply chain, and then obviously matching funding to your business cycle, wherever you are within the growth trajectory of your business becomes a bit of a challenge. And ultimately, what that is access to funding. But for me, I think the big irony, however, according to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor South Africa report of 2021, there's an abundance of potential funders in South Africa. This presents a huge opportunity for lenders to consistently innovate their products that have small businesses as the forefront at mind. And that's what some of our products do, is that we don't assess you looking at it in a traditional sense, but more in terms of you and what growth trajectory your business is in.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think there is this perception out there that there just isn't available. And yet we've heard quite a few times now that there are funders available, and the way people are lending is quite different. Like you said, you don't look necessarily at the way things were traditionally looked at, which opens a lot more doors for small businesses. So that is really exciting. So for all our viewers out there, remember to do your homework. Don't just make assumptions. And I guess what you were saying as well with small businesses about choosing the right type of finance for where they are is key. And I guess that's where you at Vodacom will be able to assist small business owners in that. Let's move on to the next question I have for you. And in a sense, we have to ask ourselves, how do we help small businesses thrive? And this is where it comes in about choosing the right type of finance without being snowed under by loans they can't afford. We know that can really take a business down. What would you say about that, Lesego?
I absolutely agree with you. I think access to funding is hard to come by, but particularly for emerging SMEs as a sector, with legacy financial institutions and inconsistent government funding, and also the perceived barriers that I mentioned above. It takes new SMEs over 3 to 5 years to build solid skills for implementation and support. But are expected to have fully experienced resources in their first year. One of the most prominent challenges that SMEs are trying to overcome is access to networks of their peers. This comes with the pressure of 42% of SMEs being less than 5 years old. 25% of those SMEs don't have power during load shedding, making it the most vulnerable segment. And this challenge outweighs other solutions that SMEs view as a nice to have.
Wow. Lastly, Lesego, let's tell our viewers, how is Vodacom Financial Services responding to the challenges that you've mentioned?
Yeah, so at the core of our work is the intention to recognize and see business owners' vision, and to walk the journey with them by providing finance and products that will make the customer relationship seamless, while combining this sentiment with technology that's not far removed from the daily lives of the people. A campaign that we currently with is for us to never again let the dirt on the shoes stop them from stepping forward and taking their rightful place. So we see their vision, we're with them, Sinawe. And Sinawe as a solution means we provide the right technology designed to provide support through your business journey, an ecosystem that makes new revenue streams accessible and easy, and a commitment to grow and expand, an expansion of SMEs. So Sinawe also serves as a commitment that businesses make to the communities they serve, speaks to the enablement of safe, convenient payment and access to the products and services they need and enjoy in order to unlock their growth potential.
Fantastic. All right, so thank you so much for that, Lesego. I'm going to be bringing Ingrid back onto screen with us. So welcome back, Ingrid.
Thanks, Leanne.
All right. So just to conclude this discussion today, I wanted to ask you each, is there any point you'd like to reiterate, or are there any closing remarks that you would have for our viewers today?
Yes, I think, Leanne, I would just like to say that to all business owners that offer goods or services and that don't yet have an e-commerce space, I think do yourself a favor and just have a look at what's out there right now. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised at what great solutions are out there for you to leverage off this and really scale in the digital space.
And Lesego, anything else you would like to say or leave our viewers with today?
I think the viewers and the segment that we're speaking to are an integral part to our economy, and to start a business is easier said than done. So I think for us at Vodacom Financial Services, we're trying to contribute towards making it easier for them to start that business, given that they're such a pivotal a part of our economy. So I think it's just to encourage them to endure during these trying times, and look at various service providers and funding solutions that are available to help them grow and stimulate their businesses during these times. There are a few options that are available, and we as a financial services are doing our part in that respect.
Absolutely. So thank you, a huge thank you to Vodacom and to you, Ingrid, and you, Lesego, for your insights today. As I mentioned, we will be sending a link to this replay to everyone who's registered and who has attended today. Make sure you watch it. If you have any questions regarding the solutions or anything that was spoken about today, you are welcome to email the NSBC and we will direct you and get the right answers for you. So you are welcome to email info@nsbc.africa, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Ingrid, Lesego, thank you so much. And to all the business owners out there, we want to wish you an amazing 2023. May your businesses grow and thrive in the coming year. And remember that we are here for you, and we will give you the solutions that you need, like the ones mentioned from Vodacom today. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Leanne.